the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can...
Why did it do that?
I have no idea.
Well, let's go back.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
I think I hit the button.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Liv.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving.
Jeez.
Sorry, YouTube changed something and it's all weird. As opposed to putting our name, it's putting our @ as who we are. And it's really, really freaking confusing. Because I'm not used to people's @. I'm used to their names. Interesting. I don't like it. Go back to normal. Go back to normal.
Maybe there's
Stop
a way,
changing things,
maybe there's a way we can fix it. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope your Thursday is going well.
Wednesday.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is. They don't reach out to us for the calendar. Yeah, the intro is going to be a little different. We're not going to do the 2 minutes beforehand to let everyone get on. We're just going to get right to it. And honestly, somebody gave us feedback. I haven't heard it in a while. And they're like, it's too damn long. Hi, Kim Dreisen. And hi, James. She said, it's too long. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, then fast forward it. And I'm like, you know what? I watched it. I'm like, it's too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the intro, the call signs, and then we're going to go into a 2-minute pre-show. Goal tonight's 300 is what we're going for. And we're going to be off Friday. We're going to be off next week, 1 week, and the next week, 1 week. You guys always tell me to take time off, and hopefully we can overdrive tonight going into Thanksgiving. So thedumbshow.com/donate. You can buy shirts and hats and all that other stuff. And that's the pre-show. Is that simple.
Yeah.
That was easy. Last night.
We're on Friday this week, right?
Yeah, we're on Friday.
Okay, sorry.
But we're off tomorrow. And then the next week we're going, now let me do it so I know what we are. Then we're off Wednesday. Yeah. And then the following week we're going to be off Tuesday.
Thursday.
Whatever. So that is, that's a lot of time. Plus you got Christmas in there.
Plus last week we were off Friday.
Yeah, it's been that's hard. So we're going to have to either maybe add a day during the weekend or something. We got to figure out something.
Maybe.
Because we just, listen, we have to.
Yes.
It's not a maybe. There is no option. Like, in order to, we get by the hair in our chinny chin chin for this reason. You got to pay that.
Yeah, I just saw it. It just came in.
Okay. Welcome to everybody. So we're going to keep the still point intro, of course. I might redo it for the new year. Do something new.
Yeah, because it's 3
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It took me around 30 hours to make. So I'll just need to do it over holiday and just say, all right,
Or not and call it good because it's still really awesome.
No, I think I'm going to redo it.
Okay.
So, but I know the live show is going to change at the first of the year. Like, we're changing the entire live show. It's going to be completely different. the way we present, the topics we cover. It's going to change. And I've been thinking about this for a while. And there was a time when I started using something called MindMeister, and it was essentially you would have a center point, and then you would have each topic, and you would see a line that would go to a photo or a video and an article, and we would have like 5 or 6 topics, and we would do a deep dive through that. I think it'll generate more discussion. I want to create a show that's more interactive with you and Amy and Leroy, and I just don't want it to be me filling in 75% of the conversation. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. So we'll have to play with it. But I'm working on the details now of what I want to do. So tonight, Chef Lady, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I didn't hear what happened. Mom, who's 86, broke her wrist, spent Monday night in the ER, 4 hours yesterday in orthopedic doctor's office, prepped all day today, and 2 glasses of wine in. Is she 2 glasses of wine in, or you're 2 glasses of wine? I hope you're 2 glasses of wine in. I hope Mom's doing okay, and I know it's tough, especially during Thanksgiving, and that sucks. And I'm sorry that took place. Seems like there was some bad news all around. We're going to get right to it. As you may have heard, there was a shooting in Washington, D.C., and two National Guardsmen were slain. It is official. They have officially succumbed to their wounds. And this isn't a very nice Thanksgiving for those wonderful people. And, you know, I was putting on, I had something else on. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go put my veterans on here. And this shirt is more apropos than usual, veterans before illegals. And the whole reason why the National Guard is there is from the unbelievable crime and drugs that have penetrated Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. And we're trying to take our country back. And there's a lot. I mean, this topic is going to take most of the 2 hours to go over. And also, Liv, it's good to have you back in the house. It feels like with Amy going through her schooling, and then Leroy called today, and I can't go into details, but he almost had to stop doing the show for a little bit, not because of sickness or anything like that. It's job requirements. And then we figured out a way to kind of move around that. And so we can take one more year and then get him hopefully moving to Virginia. And getting him on full time, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and Amy should be back next week.
Yeah,
I
she
think
said
this was
she'll
her
be back.
last week of school. So
yeah, she said she would be back. So there's a lot going on. Of course, the things that we normally see, the Democrats are blaming Donald Trump. Nope, Tamar, we're not abbreviating the show in 2 parts. Nope. Not going to happen. You could abbreviate the intro. Oh, the intro? No, it's fine. Intro's fine where it's at. We took it down from 6, almost 7 minutes to 3. So it's going to stay where it's at. I mean, you got to allow people to log on. And a lot of shows, you know, they don't have that following, but people want to get to the point, but they don't want all the fluff. So the song intro is 2:30 and then a 30-second spot, and then we're on with you. So, and we've got our first, and let's get him out of here. All right. So, the situation being is that Democrats are obviously blaming Donald Trump. The people of African American descent and Latin descent and everything else are saying, "Oh, this person doesn't look black. They don't look like a Muslim, and they don't look gay." You know, white people are like, "Oh, well, they're liberal." You know, Trump supporters. It's a liberal. It's a lefty. It's a transgender. Once again, the only common thread in all of these shootings is that the person is insane.
Yep.
Always insane. And I wish people would stick to it, but liberals are already starting. CJ Jenkins donated $31.40. Hope you and your family have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving. Much love from East Tennessee. Thank you. So I've got a picture of the alleged shooter, naked. And I don't believe he was naked, but I do believe he sustained wounds. And usually when that happens, you strip and cut into the clothing and stuff. But I don't know. This person very well could have been naked. I have a couple of videos. One of them being taken down, a photo from a drone up high. But the left is doing what the same usual suspects. The politicians are coming out and they're supporting the shooter. News media is saying, yes, this is a horrific event, but Donald Trump is absolutely livid and pissed. I don't have a ton of connections to Donald Trump, and I certainly don't know him or anyone in his administration. No, I don't. But I do know people who protect him. And my understanding is that the writing on the wall right now is Donald Trump is absolutely incensed. Like hell have no fury type. Bring down the thunder. Wyatt Earp style in D.C. Pete Hegseth has already initiated 500 more troops in D.C.
I saw that.
This is going to, this is
going to get ugly.
This could get ugly, and this is going to kick off some things that I think are going to be pretty serious. But people like this jackhole, I can't even remember his name. He pops up just like all the other ones do. And he's a wannabe left Nick Fuentes, and he's got the bright eyes and whatever. Well, he made a post and I just shellacked him. You guys remember when I did this? And then I went on his page and I said, listen, you obviously are struggling with viewers and would love to help you out. Why don't you come on my show and we can debate? This person, with the utmost respect, is a complete idiot. He's just stupid. He's just like Jake Shields. He's just dumb. There is not one brain cell in his head that, from a competitive standpoint, is even a challenge for anyone who can find their ass with two hands and a flashlight. Doesn't her hair look pretty? Kim, I don't care if you don't like my hair. That's fine. You don't have to like I like my hat. I got it. Listen, Broncos and I have healed our relationship. I was a huge Broncos fan and Olivia will tell you, and when we met, I've always been the Broncos fan. And then John Elway just kind of pissed me off. But when Peyton Manning came on, I was there and yeah, and now that my son is an avid fan and we've been watching football together, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put my Broncos stuff back on. And you guys remember I have a John Elway signed autograph Lombardi trophy, and I've always been a fan from afar, but I'm really embracing the Denver sports teams again, except for the Rockies, because who can?
I think it's also the fact that you have a son that is totally sports crazy.
Yes.
About that it's fun to watch, because I stopped watching football, so
yeah,
I think it's nice to
well,
have somebody to watch it. He does.
It fun.
He's hilarious.
And so I've seen a picture of the shooter, and I will tell you my first reaction is that he's Muslim. The way his beard is cut, his haircut, his weight, the amount of hair on the person's body, he screams Muslim to me. And where, I don't know. I mean, I can't, that's stick a fork. But since it's DC, I can take a guess that probably there's going to be 3 areas that you're going to find. One would be Qatarian. Second would be Somalian. And the third would be, and more than likely, Afghani. A lot of the Afghan refugees from Joe Biden's complete kerfuffle of the Afghanistan pullout repatriated and immigrated Afghanis into Washington, D.C. Olivia and I were just talking about that with you. Happy Thanksgiving, Tamar.
Did you get your package, Tamar?
Yeah, Tamar, did you get your package?
Let me know.
So that's my gut, but I don't know if that's true or not. That's just me, once again, supposition. Maybe you guys might have some information that I don't, but there are a ton of repatriated Afghanis into the Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia area. Okay, so here's this guy. I can't remember his name, and I don't know if I want to, but I've seen him on Facebook, and I challenged him. I said, dude, first of all, if I like your post, what do you see? You see the Don't Unfriend Me show with 345,000 followers has posted on your page. those are always at the top. Whenever somebody with 10,000 or more followers post on my page, I get a notification. And it stays there till I click it. So he saw it. He saw it. What did Carrie just see? Look at this. It's a guess. Still could be wrong. Fog of war. But we'll break it up. But looks to me Middle Eastern. But this is I think this guy's name is, I can't remember his name, and I don't care because I don't want you watching this guy. He's just an idiot. But here's your idiot who has a lotion problem. Bro, you're on camera. Okay? Either use some Head and Shoulders or use some moisturizer on your skin. It literally looks like it's Dr. Zhivago all over your black shirt. And if you're going to wear dark colors, you have to moisturize. Right, Liv?
Yes, you do.
And you don't even have a beard, so you don't even have an excuse. I mean, this thing literally is a skin trap. Do better. Just saying. Here's our guy. Change the audio real quick. Because I missed it, right, Liv?
Right.
Here it is.
As you may have heard, 2 National Guard troops were just shot in Washington, D.C. We don't know their exact condition yet, but we do know this. I'm going to tell you what no mainstream media is prepared to tell you. This is 100% Donald Trump's fault. Case closed, end of story, and here's why. These National Guard troops wouldn't even be there in that position if it wasn't for Donald Trump's unconstitutional, unlawful deployment of American troops to a U.S. city to stand around as targets while Trump expresses violent rhetoric on the daily, calling Democrats the enemy within, saying anybody who didn't vote MAGA is a domestic terrorist, they're Antifa. Of course, you have some lunatic lash out and try to be a hero and go after these National Guard troops. It's not their fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. He put them in that situation. He wants them to be targets. He wants our military to be slain so he can use it as an excuse to crack down on the rest of the country.
He looks like Marty Feldman with hair.
Can I go first?
Yeah, but do you know who Marty Feldman is?
No. The only Feldman I know is Corey.
Abby, someone? You put an abnormal brain in a 7-foot tall, 273-pound monster? I thought your hump was on the. Never mind.
I know what movie
Never
it
mind.
is, but
Yeah, it's the Hunchback.
oh, okay.
And with the bug. Yeah, he looks like Marty Feldman. Yeah, you go first, honey.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
You can
for starters, I hate to tell you, dude, you are not mainstream media, so
No.
I don't think we have to worry about that one.
No.
And to play the blame game here, Donald Trump wouldn't have had to put the National Guard in those cities if those Democrat-run cities would have actually just done their job and kept the city clean and not harbored illegal aliens and have their crimes riddled or cities riddled with crime. So yeah, he does kind of look like him, doesn't he? That's pretty funny.
I mean,
we just keep that picture up
is
for the rest of the time.
Is that not him? Abby normal
with brown hair, yes.
Abby normal or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Put the candle back.
Yes, I've only seen part of that movie.
Does that
yes.
not look like him?
It does.
It looks like Marty Feldman.
Must be his
it could
grandkid
be
or
his love
something.
child. It could be his gay
Yeah.
love child.
But yeah.
Am I wrong? Listen, it's not just that. So what you're saying is because Donald Trump called out and said mean things about Democrats and called them seditious and called them evil, a Muslim decided to go ahead and shoot National Guard troops because of that. That's what you're saying? That's the rhetoric? It couldn't possibly be that the seditious six went ahead and said that the military, in not so many words, was using and following unlawful orders and illegal orders. He just said it. He just said that it was illegal for the National Guard, which is not true in any way, shape, or form. Donald Trump has every opportunity and can deploy the National Guard in Washington, D.C. at a whim. Now, he doesn't have that control of all states' National Guards. He has to go through the governor. But the D.C. National Guard is 100% in control through Donald J. Trump. And he has the right to deploy them in emergency situations. So to sit here and say that it's illegal, it's not illegal because Obviously, we know the courts upheld the decision for him to deploy in certain areas along with DC if it is a crisis. Who's Kenny Powers?
I don't see. That's what I'm saying. If they got to be people that know us. I don't know since YouTube.
Smile, Liv. Hey, Liv, could you stop looking like an abused wife and smile more?
No, people like my smile. People tell me that like all the time during the show.
Flash your boobs, Liv. I love
what
those.
Boobs?
They're there.
They're there. Magnifying glass.
Anything more than a handful is a waste. I'm just saying. Or a mouthful. It just depends.
Yeah. No, like YouTube changed, so I have no idea who anyone is. It's really sad.
It's going to be okay.
I know. I'm
It's
very
okay.
sad. So I don't know. Kenny, who are you? I guess seriously, I don't know anyone's names anymore.
So we're going to go back to this one. Here is another leftist who completely looks like she's strung out on meth. You can always tell the quality of a person and what type of drug they're doing based upon their tattoos. Like I would be a high-end cocaine user based upon my tattoos because of the quality of them. This lady basically does biker crank, I think, based upon her ensemble and tattoos. Here it is.
I don't want anyone to act surprised that 2 National Guard members were killed today. When you declare a war on the people that's based on racism and hate, what do you think's going to happen? You think you're the only one that's armed? You think that this is just a one-sided G side, like they're doing over there? Yeah, no.
Kenny, it's good to have you on here, man. I was just teasing, by the way. Liv does need to smile more. She's so angry.
Yeah, no. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what happened. But violence breeds violence. Here we go.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
Your 14 piercings in your ears and your desperation to go ahead and stay relevant and young has failed. Embrace your age. That's the first thing. Second thing that I would say is violence does not necessarily beget violence. Violence is important, and occasionally violence is required to stop bad people from doing bad things. This is true. Violence can be used for the greater good, but that doesn't mean that you're morally correct. For instance, Israel, fantastic example, had every right to prosecute the war that they did, had every right to kill as many Hamas as they could and try to save as many civilians as they could, but ultimately propagate the war. But morally, it's not okay to kill 40,000 people. Everyone agrees. And Japan was the same thing when we dropped the nuke, and Dresden was the same in Germany when England and the United States and the U.S. Air Corps went ahead and turned Dresden and 45,000 people into liquid goo. So the moral high ground of violence is murky and muddled for sure. But what you're saying is that the person shooting the National Guardsmen and women, or just guardsmen, somehow was justified. That their violence created some sort of moral good to go ahead and maybe not morally be justified, but outcome-based and outcome-driven is justified. So I'd like to know what that outcome is. Donald Trump is most surely not going to pull the National Guard. He's going to double down and put in more National Guard. So that isn't a good thing for the people on your side. Crime will continue to go down in Washington, D.C. with that presence. And what you could see ultimately is there's going to be blowback on people on your side as the National Guard are armed. And they can kill with extreme prejudice because that's their job. And now that you have slain 2 of theirs, they are going to be more prone to fill you full of hot lead if you even so much as blink in their general direction or fart in their general direction. This is what happened with England and the IRA in Belfast. It started off with the English occupying the territory, which was morally wrong, but justified for England in order to expand territories. But when the IRA began, they were justified because they went and hit British soldiers for occupying their territory, and they felt morally just in doing so after taking 300-400 years of England shit. The only problem is is that once they started killing soldiers, England put more soldiers in, and they started doing door-to-doors, and they started rounding people up. So the IRA decided to go ahead and start doing what? Well, attacking its own government, because that government worked with England to stop the IRA, and they felt betrayed. So they started attacking government officials. And once that didn't work, England went ahead and expanded troops. Ireland expanded task force to get the IRA. So what did they do? They started killing civilians, Irish civilians, and started bombing areas that Brits and Ireland's top elite were at. So you can be morally justified in your eyes to do something, or you could be doing something to do the greater good, but it's still 100% in this case ends up being bad. Was it good that we nuked the Japanese? Yes, because it ended the war and we saved millions of lives, truly millions of lives. Once Russia took Japan, we would be right back in it and we would be doing the same damn thing over again. And this time it would expand into multiple countries that stayed out of it. This is going to have a negative reaction. It's not morally justified. It doesn't do anything good. In fact, it expands the problem and you're exacerbating the problem that you're trying to stop to begin with. People like this should have a voice. They should. They just should never be listened to. Can't stand people like this.
Yeah. You gotta ban someone on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't.
Who it be? Who it be?
Monty something. You'll see his comment.
Let me see what Monty said. Where's Monty?
One more. Go.
Let
Right
me
there.
see. Oh, you got it, man. Monty, what you do is you go. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave you alone. Happy Thanksgiving, Monty. You're a lovely bot. Here is, now, can I say this? Frank Luntz has got nothing right when it comes to elections for the last 10 years.
No, he doesn't.
He's horrible. But he is right here, and I have hit Frank Luntz many, many a time. And in this case, I got to at least give him the proper credit. Dude, Frank, seriously, the beard.
Yeah, tie the beard, man.
Trim it.
Just trim it. Trim it and dye it.
Just seriously, buddy.
My first reaction was, why the hell did you put this video out? I know you're trying to poke at him. Of course you don't obey an illegal order. Of course there are standards and processes that our military has followed, not just for decades, but for centuries. That's a given. You're doing this just to create a political issue.
Oh, really?
And shame on you, because there are men and women who are serving in Japan, in Korea, all over the globe, in the Middle East, in other Asian countries. And this is Thanksgiving. And they're not home. And they're sacrificing for this country. And you're playing politics at this point?
Wow, Frank, nice to see you take a stand for once. I actually see you standing at all. Some light exercise would work also. Here's my problem with Frankie Luntz is, Frank, you have spoken out against Donald Trump just like the rest of them. You've used language just like the rest of them. You are culpable in this just like the rest of them. Not only do you get everything wrong when it comes to your polls, because they literally are a shit sandwich, a soup shit sandwich, which makes it even worse. But this, great. Thank you for being on the right side of history for once in your life. Now what I expect you to do is continue to do that. Because if you were wrong about this, what else have you been wrong about? I appreciate the fact that he says this because it is a political issue. And the Seditious Six, they have earned the ire of the country.
Which ones are the Seditious Six?
I'm going to tell you right after I show you Calliope. No, not Calliope from Days of Our Lives from 86 to 92 with Eugene and Calliope, who were trying to steal the prism from Stefano DeMero when Bo and Hope and Roman and Marlena were in the run in Louisiana.
Calliope.
Calliope and Eugene? What is wrong with you, woman? Yes, you do. Look it up.
How do you spell that name?
Oh, Livy, darling, how could you be a Days of Our Lives fan and not know?
It wasn't Days of Our Lives when I was little, when I was at home and my mom watched it and I watched it with her. But
we watched that always. We would put it on Betamax, and we would absolutely watch. I remember this at Alpha Beta grocery stores. Calliope and Eugene.
Oh, okay, I remember them.
He's Q in all the Star Treks.
Yep. Okay, I remember him.
That's him. Yeah. So they were huge in the Stefano DiMera. He was related to Tony DiMera.
That's right.
Right. And this was Eugene and him. Are, come on, Liv.
Just
Seriously,
one thing.
I don't have time to tell you all these things. I mean, together. Get it together, Liv.
No, sorry. Excuse me. I'll go get caught up on my days of our lives. Trivia.
What a great dude. That was some prime stuff. Stefano. Oh my God. Deirdre Hall. Oh,
yeah, she's beautiful.
Smoke show. She's still a smoke show. I love that show. It was fantastic. All right.
Remind me to charge my mouse when we're done here because it's running out of batteries.
How do you know?
Because it starts to lag.
Turn it off. Turn it back on.
Okay.
Yep. It's a Bluetooth. We've got about 17 things that are on Bluetooth here, and Bluetooth is it doesn't share signal well. In fact, it conflicts often. So you've got to refresh it. That's all.
I turned everything off when I
That's a great picture to turn it on. I mean, that's what.
And no one has any idea what you are.
They know. It's the one where you're looking at the camera and okay. These are the days of our lives. Okay, this is Calliope, but she kind of looks like Calliope from Days of Our Lives if she put on 40 years. This is fantastic. Now, there's some cussing in here. So, folks, if you get upset, just what the?
Hi.
There must be a hotkey here. What? Why did it?
There you go.
Just deal with it. If you don't like cussing, here it is. Because this is great. Good for her. Cover your ears. If you have children in the business, put them out.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, real quick. People are talking about the shooting itself. My first guess is that it was small arms fire. Why? Because 2 were hit, but there were 8 or 9 people there. And if this guy had an AR, he wouldn't be getting that close. He would be sitting back, and he would have taken multiples out. Also, in a situation where he has a small arms, he's got, depends, anywhere from 8, some cases 6, 16 to 17 shots. In a high tense situation, his heart's racing. This guy probably isn't balls accurate with his shots, doesn't train by the looks of him. He probably, put 10, 15, 20, or 17 rounds down range and probably hit his target 1 to 3 times. That's just the way it is.
He's probably taught how to shoot at the age of 3.
Or no, because then he would be good at it. So this leads me to believe there was broken glass, bust glass. All the panels were broken. Leads me there were some stray shots. I don't know. I'm not there, and I can't answer these questions. But what I do know is what screams out to me based upon the interviews that I've heard is that it was not an AR or a long rifle, that it was a handgun. But please don't quote me on that. That's just me assessing that they got a hold of him. If he had an AR and there were 8 guys there, they were all armed. This guy would either be a Swiss cheese, but with a handgun, there's a little bit more give and take, so to speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With an AR, I mean, you're scrambling. It is loud. It is noisy. It's at range. You're trying to acquire target. If this guy had a pistol and they saw it and he went through his magazine without reloading, if he was naked, I don't know. It's a little weird. I have a feeling he got shot and they stripped him to find wounds, because that completely is standard practice, because they want this guy to obviously pay for what he did. But it sounds to me small arms fire, and I would imagine that it's probably a smaller size magazine, and he hit the 2 guys, fired into the crowd. They returned fire, dropped him, and then they beat the living shit out of him. I've got the video. Matt, I heard it was a handgun. Yeah, that's what I thought. Listen, you guys, I've been doing this a long time. I assess things my initial reactions are usually the best. Once again, this is all predictive and this is all deduction, just by logic, looking at the scene, looking at the glass, looking at where this fire came from, how many rounds this guy would miss as an untrained gunman. It sounds like 1 mag was probably used. It was probably a small capacity, 8 to 10, probably a 9mm. Could be a subcompact model, small Glock. It went through his mag, and then they returned fire, hit him, and then he surrendered. And then they grabbed him and beat the living snot out of him. I'll show you this. Watch this video first, then we'll do that. Folks, we're not at 310. That is a complete lie.
Yeah.
We're at $41.40. Mrs. Tamar Bush donated $10 most recently. Here's this video. This is pretty good, minus the cussing. Just get through it, folks.
Yeah, there's no nice way to make this video, but honestly, I really don't give a fuck about being nice right now, because all you jerk-offs out there that post your shit,
Yeah, Steven, yours has 19, and it's not a clip. It's a magazine. Sorry, I don't mean, if we're going to correct me, it's not a clip. Mine holds 17 and one in the pipe. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is due to the amount of people who were hit when there were 8 or 9 of them standing in cluster, according to reports. If it was an AR, this guy would have been able to take at least 5, 6 guys down, shooting into that crowd with ease at the range he was at, which leads me to believe that it was a handgun. And based upon the amount of people were hit, which is 2, and it was a fatal shot, which is usually not a single unless it's a headshot or hits massive organs, there is a good chance that this guy had a magazine that was 8 to 10, fired. We know a couple of the shots hit the bus stand because there's glass everywhere. We know there's return fire, and we know he only hit 2 people, which were fatal shots, which leads me to believe that he fired into one a couple of times, fired into the other a couple of times, and missed the rest of his shots. That would lead me to believe it's a smaller capacity magazine, which would be a concealed carry like a Glock 43 or something to that effect that has a smaller magazine type, but is still a 9mm because it's subcompact. Where my SIG, this is 18. So 18 rounds. Very, very different firearm. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Cool? Good. But don't say it's a clip. Damn it, Steve. I was just saying that he might have had to change the mag. Maybe. But then that would also lead me to believe that more people were hit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you're absolutely right. He very well could have had a higher capacity magazine and a non-concealed carry type weapon or an extended mag. There's plenty of reasons. But my point being, if you fire 18 shots into a small crowd at close range, I would anticipate that more would be hit than 2. You know what I'm saying? And I was just busting balls about the clip thing. I do that to everybody. Don't take it personal. All right, here's the video.
Yeah, there's no nice way to make this video, but honestly, I really don't give a fuck about being nice right now, because all you jerk-offs out there that post your shit day in and day out about how, the National Guard, they're going to just start taking innocent people, and we're locking up fucking innocent people who do nothing wrong, and oh my God, this administration, and oh my God, and you 6 motherfucking jerk-offs that made that video about the fucking, don't worry about the illegal orders, that you have people now convinced that the military is carrying out illegal orders. You should probably go fuck yourself right about now, okay? And let me tell you something. You make the posts because you want to make your money. You want to make your fucking clicks. You got to, prove that you're somehow something. Meanwhile, nobody even fucking knows who you are in real life because you're all a bunch of fucking losing jerk-offs anyway. But now you're going to come out and now you're going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. We should pray. We should pray for them. It's the guns. No, it's not. It's your bullshit. It's you. It's because you're money-hungry little dirtbags who... I'm aggravated right now, and I really don't need to have people staring at me, but let me tell you something. Now is not the time for you to start with your bullshit, okay? It's not the guns. It's the fucking crazy people who listen to the bullshit that you fucking spew out there, that you put out there because you got to make your little fucking payment, with your fucking social media clicks. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And you know what? I hope there's some kind of law that you get held accountable. Like if you say something and then, makes people like you guys tried to do with Trump, you twisted his fucking words. You manipulated the videos to make it look like he was inciting violence. Meanwhile, you guys are the fucking people inciting violence. You're disgusting. And now there's families on Thanksgiving tomorrow that are not going to have innocent family members with them because of your bullshit. I hope you're fucking happy. I hope you fucking have sleep apnea and you don't fucking wake up, you bunch of pieces of shit.
Love her.
She must be from New York.
I think. Or Jersey. Or Boston. It doesn't really matter. She's absolutely...
Sounds more New Yorkish.
She's based. She's dialed in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm hearing now that it was a woman, is what I'm hearing. And that's why I said National Guardsmen or women. And it sounds like she took one in the chest and then took one. I don't believe that these guardsmen and women are wearing Kevlar. I don't. If someone's firing a 9mm into a vest, good chance it's going to stop that. And then I guess he hit her in the chest and then went ahead and shot her in the head. That's what I just read. Listen, it doesn't matter. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm not going to sit here and try to play the game of that I understand what's going on or the method to the badness. My first initial reaction is that the guy was Muslim, Middle Eastern. Unfortunately, this is going to continue until we apply the counterinsurgency message we used in Central and South America in 1970 and 1980s. Yeah, but when you do that, then now we're running into an area where habeas corpus needs to be suspended, because what we did in South America in the 70s and 80s was pretty barbaric. Not that I'm disagreeing with you. Like here's the reason why Donald Trump was successful in Syria and why he was successful with Afghanistan and hunting down ISIS and the caliphate, is because he took the gloves off and he allowed the generals and the field commanders to do what they needed to do to win. And he didn't care what they did. And he gave them hunting season. He essentially initiated scalp protocol on any jihadist against American soldiers or any of our allies. You can't identify a jihadist. They don't wear signs. And it doesn't say, hey, I'm a terrorist. They don't wear colors. They don't wear a flag. They look like every other person, and they have the ability to blend in and manipulate, and sometimes will do the slow game to gain what they want. They are a patient people. But when they want to make noise, it's always public, it's always innocence, and a mass casualty event is what's needed. The more, the better, that before they go visit Allah. If you want that 1970, 1980, or Politburo style KGB 1980 to 1990 with Ronald Reagan and the FBI and the CIA against Russian Politburo, Spetsnaz, and the KGB, or you want to go back to 1938 to 1952 with GDR and East Berlin and the DDR, if you want to get to that level, that is truly the only way you're going to identify terrorists in this country. And that's assuming that all people of a certain ethnicity are terrorists. And that is the one consistent thing you saw in South America, is that every single person was a part of the cartels that were part of the drug gangs or had Russian influence or Russian funding, that were paramilitary or militants. It's the same thing you saw in the 80s and 90s with the FBI, CIA versus Russia. And it's the same thing you saw in Nazi Germany and post-Nazi Germany after the OSS and the Office of Strategic Services with Wild Bill Donovan and everything that they did there, and the expansion of seeing Russian control over East Berlin after the Nazis fell. If you're going to do that type of tactic, you're going to have to suspend habeas corpus, and you're going to infringe upon the rights of people who are American citizens who happen to be that color. I would recommend, if you have not had a chance, to please watch the movie The Siege. I've given it as homework plenty of times for people on this show. You can read the book, it's even better. But it's got Annette Bening, Denzel Washington, Bruce Willis. And I will tell you, if you want to see what a lockdown of a major city looks like, and what detention centers look like, this is a fantastic movie that demonstrates the inability and ineffectual nature of our government to identify radical Muslims. Mm-hmm. Because we couldn't do it over there. We couldn't do it in Iraq. We couldn't do it in Syria. We couldn't do it in Somalia, Bosnia, Herzegovina. We couldn't identify the Shias, the Shias, the Kurds, the Sunnis. We struggle because it's an ideology. And the only way to do it is do a systematic roundup. And I would warn us against that. I really would. I really would. It's a dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing in Gaza. Joanne Townsend, $10. Thank you, Matt and Olivia. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Praying for the victims and their families. I am too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We are $51.40 to our goal. So I'm not going to show you a super clear picture of this guy. I'm just gonna put it up, and there it is. He's a looker, but you can tell by his beard. First of all, there's a couple things that are non-American. In a standard goatee, you would leave the handlebar, and you would leave the soul patch, and then the full goatee, depending upon width and size, it really is indicative whether social status is one of them. A Southerner is going to make a wider goatee, usually more full and down and out, which is the way I have mine when I shave my beard. I haven't done it in years. People more Yankees and the Northerner elites will do it more French style where it's closer. But removing this is an Arabic trait. You may also see it in the Amish do it as well. Removing the soul patch and cutting along the line and continuing the line here all the way down around the bottom of the beard. And he doesn't look Amish to me. There are a couple of other Yorkish and older style gentry out there that may do it that way, but based upon the amount of body hair and based upon the overall darkness of the hair and the thickness of it, eyebrows and everything else, that's what led me to believe that he was a Muslim or Arabic, and not necessarily a Muslim. More than likely, he is a Muslim. But that's your guy. Now, I see there is one wound, and it looks like they got him right in the thigh. If you look right here, that is a compress, and it's a standard dressing, which allows them to go ahead and stop the bleeding, put pressure, a compress on that, and put field dressing on it. That's what it looks like. That's why his pants are off. They would have had to remove his underwear, so I would believe he wasn't naked. What they probably did is they stripped his shirt to check for battle wounds. These are National Guardsmen. They understand field triage, and in field triage, you strip down your patient to find any type of holes. First thing you do is buddy check your friend, your battle buddy, and you make sure that he has no holes, and you check everywhere. You check it for blood, you check under his vest, you check under his helmet, everything. In my eyes, they were stripping him to stabilize him, and the fastest way to do that is to tear away and cut his clothes. That's probably what happened, I would assume. And he probably had the shit kicked out of him, and his shirt probably got ripped. Pants is because they had to remove his underwear, remove his pants in order to go ahead and field dress that wound, which looks like it's up in the upper quadrant of his hip or upper thigh. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Everyone, comments?
Yes. No comments.
Interesting. They say he was severely wounded. Well, that's not a good place to get shot. You've got several, a lot of damage, depending on what he was shot with. If he was shot with a pistol, there's worse places to get shot. But you've got a femoral artery that runs up there too. So I don't know if he's. My understanding is that he's stable. I don't see a lot of blood. You can see that there is a red hue. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
That demonstrates more than likely that it's residual blood that came from the wound that's on his skin, because blood is not easy to clean up, and it's extremely sticky, and that's the way blood is. Everyone thinks that, you just wipe blood up, and no, it's not as easy as it looks. So, yeah, he is strapped down. It looks like he has his ankles strapped in, and he's secured on that gurney. But that's my assumption. Now, there is a better picture of this. I don't know how much I want to go into detail with this jackhole. And in fact, I don't really want to. But here's the video of him being, and now you're going to understand what I saw and how. Well, let me show you this. So the video, you're going to see that it sounds like he came around this corner. I don't think that would be the case. I think he came around this corner. This is why this glass got shot. I believe they were all standing right around here in front of the building. The building's entrance is right here. Let's watch the video and you can see. There's the entrance of the building. So it would lead me to believe that he came from this direction and shot at them. That's what I would assume. Because you would also assume they were all supposedly clustered in front of the building. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So he could have come through here. And honestly, the return fire, this glass is intact. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
This glass isn't. This sign is hanging here. So watch it close. So this glass, you can tell the difference in the tonality between the black here and the black here. So
Yeah.
that's refraction. So you have light refraction here. So you know there's glass here. This sign is more than likely lit, and it's tied into electrical, and it's two-way. So it's on the back here, and the glass went in between. So when rounds came and hit into here, either from return fire, as people probably fell back into this area, into this cubby for defense, to draw their weapons and to, engage the target, he would more than likely have come around here, because that just leads me to believe that's what happened. And return fire was coming this way, or direct fire was coming this way, and this glass was punched out. And you can also see, which is interesting, so this helps also, that leads me to believe, is look where the glass fell. So the initial impact would be that the rounds came through here, punched this breakaway glass, and usually breakaway glass will fall based upon the weakest point. And if there's multiple rounds coming through that breakaway glass, it would project that glass forward. Now, it's not like the movies where one bullet goes in and all of a sudden, it blows out. But the way it fell, you would assume that if the rounds went ahead and were fired from inside this line, that the glass would fall out here more than it would fall here. Now, that's, once again, I don't have the forensics. I don't have the angles of the shot or what rounds were being used, but it would lead me to believe that the return fire was the assailant coming around here, initially making the shots, and then coming in this area. I don't see a lot of blood or anything here. I don't know where he engaged. And they're tattooing this guy pretty hard. I don't see anyone else down here. Jayesh Patel, if you want to be myopic, and you can say whatever you want, it's a free country. You don't have to be here either. Nobody's making you watch this. Obviously, you decided to. So there's people who want answers, and there's people who want to understand what happened, and I'll sit by my track record, and you can keep jerking yourself off. Cool? Thanks, buddy. Mary, we already discussed why he was naked. More than likely, he was naked because they performed triage on him to find his wounds. They didn't know where his wounds were. And if you look, there's a battle dressing on his upper left hip and upper thigh, which would lead me to believe that they were checking him for wounds. The shirt could be ripped off because they probably pulled him to the ground, I would assume, and it got torn. And they cut away to make sure and check all wounds. They did perform triage on him. We saw that in the photograph when they were taking him into the ambulance. So I don't believe he was fully naked. He had socks on. It leads me to believe that he was clothed. I could be wrong, but remember, these are National Guardsmen, and they understand triage. And if you ask any person in the military, like myself, field triage and battle dressing a wound, one of the first things you do when you're checking your buddy, and I'm not saying this person is their buddy. What I'm saying is this is their training, is to check them for wounds and strip them down to ensure that you get all the bleeders. They're not trying to save this guy's life. They're trying to save so he can be held accountable for what he did. That's their job. Paul says, Matt, my first reaction is my first thought he was sitting in the bus stop innocently, then turned and opened fire through the glass. Thoughts? Shot selection through glass isn't going to do any good. My thoughts is that he came around this. Listen, just looking at where the glass is, I think these are secondary shots, and those are coming from this direction. So he doesn't have a very good angle, but he could have come across here and turned around up this area and then shot into the crowd here and then moved over this way. These trucks look like they were here for doing some sort of service and then took cover under them. They shot at him through the bus stop glass. I don't know. I don't have that information. I can't give you that. But what I can tell you is there was definitely return fire. We know that. We know that triage was performed on him. And that's where we're at right now. Here is ABC. Actually, let's go to
Thomas Cawthon. Hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving and give your family an extra hug. Also pray for everyone dealing with illness this Thanksgiving, and may God give them his, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, healing, maybe? Let me see. Sorry, I got to go back into it. Healing grace. There we go. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and for the guy who comes in here on Thanksgiving and decides to piss on everybody, listen, you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. The point is I'm not going to sit here and say he was a liberal, because that you're an idiot. You are exactly what I described when I first started the show, that lefties are going to say it was Republicans, and Republicans are going to say it was lefties, and transgender people are going to say it was a straight white male, and none of you are right, because none of you have any idea what you're talking about. What I try to do is do what I've done successfully for 5 years on this show, and then for multiple years in the military, which is to analyze the situation and give you real-time updates, and I'm pretty damn good at what I do. If that bothers you and that upsets you, then simply move along, right? You don't have to piss on everything in your life just because you are not happy. Just because levity and just because other people's joy causes you pain during this time. I understand that. I get it. I'm sorry she hurt you. I'm sorry your dad didn't play football with you. I'm sorry about all those things, but it has nothing to do with me. In fact, you don't know me. So meander away. You obviously are infinitesimal and unimportant to me as much as I am to you, and have a happy Thanksgiving, and may you dip your stick. Okay? Here is MS Now is what they're called. Not MSNBC, MS Now.
Jeff Oliphant, love the analysis. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate you. One person was on the ground in that, and that was the shooter. 2 people were killed. Some people are saying that it was a woman. I don't have that information. I know that 2 National Guardsmen were slain, and they don't make identification of man or woman until they release the names to the families, and that's the way it should be.
Where
Could there have
were
been
the people
more?
who got shot, the National Guards?
Right in front of the building.
Okay.
It's my understanding they were clustered into 8 or 9 people. Okay. There were multiple people there, and then they all wrestled into the ground. That's where I think it's a low capacity magazine. If you had 17 shots, 18 shots, more than 2 people would probably be hit. If he has a low capacity mag and he goes for a reload or didn't have a chance to reload, 8 to 10 would make sense based upon the amount of people that were hit, and obviously the stray rounds that didn't hit anybody together. People think that with a shooting that everyone has individual reactions. They don't. When something like this happens, the first thing that happens is that people start looking around to find out what it is. They immediately react, and you'll see this. But it's not from being hit, it's from the sound. And they'll react, and then they'll start looking. And the first 2 people who see the guy are probably going to be the people who got hit. Once they fall and go down, your first reaction is your fight or flight kicks in. But so far, 2 to 3 seconds have already passed. Fight or flight kick in, and then at that point, you decide, I'm going to stay with my buddy, and I'm going to protect my buddy and find out why they dropped to the ground if I don't know that there's a shooter. If I know that there's a shooter, I'm going to take over, my training's going to take over, I'm going to try to get under cover, and I'm going to return fire. But my weapon is holstered or slung. I'm not ready. So now I need to take at least another second to 2 seconds to 3 seconds, depending upon what weapon system I'm using, if I am really well trained, and National Guard aren't, let's just be honest, and I'm going to start returning fire. Well, now you're talking about 4 to 5 seconds, 6 seconds has went by. And not everybody's going to react the same way. Some people are going to run. Some people are going to take cover. Some people are going to try to return fire. Some people are still going to be standing there after 6 seconds, not knowing what the fuck is going on. my point is that not everyone is going to react the same. We saw this in the Las Vegas shooting. Most of those people, in fact, all of them, should have run towards the shooter, which would have increased the overall angle of dispersity, and he couldn't have reached them. But by running away, it actually decreased the overall angle and made it easier for him to lead and shoot his targets. And he killed more people because people ran away versus running towards him. But you wouldn't know that unless you were trained for that. You wouldn't know that unless you recognize where the sniper was. So when we say National Guard, these are soldiers of war. Okay, they are either active duty military, reservists, and not necessarily all of them are combat ready or have experienced anything downrange. So the fog of war and the state of confusion from that situation, there are 8 or 9 people there. The first 2 get hit. If this guy had a full mag, had 17 rounds, 18 rounds, whatever he had, and he fired, he would more than likely hit multiple. More than 2 in a grouped effort. Nobody else was injured. Nobody else had any trauma from this. So that's where I'm led to believe, in my assessment, is that he did not have a chance to reload, and he was probably carrying a low-capacity magazine. That's my gut feeling based upon the propensity of people in the area that they were in, with the distance he was firing, and the fact that he terminated 2 lives, leads me to believe that the 2 dropped and everyone else scattered. That's probably what happened. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the first shot's always going to be your best. So more than likely, if it was a female, it hit her first. And that's why, and then the second person. And he has that time. But this isn't the movies. You can't walk in with a firearm and there's 8 people and you're bam, 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 and you kill all 8, because that's not what's going to happen. It's not what's going to happen. This isn't the OK Corral. This isn't Wyatt Earp. This isn't the movies. People are going to react differently, and your target selection is going to change. The profile is going to change. Everything slows down and then speeds up. It's not a movie. It's not a video game. There's no commonality in everyone's reaction. Some people will run at the shooter. Some people will run away. Some people will spread out. Some people will duck. Some people will freeze in fear. All of these things are variables that the shooter can't possibly know, and that literally changes the amount of people that person can target. Like, you hear the Pulse nightclub because they couldn't get out. They couldn't get out. And these people were hiding in bathrooms, and he just could fire at everybody. The Tokyo subway, 97 people stabbed because they couldn't leave. They couldn't flee. Vegas shooting, they were like fish in a barrel. But you'll hear other places like schools, and schools will lock down, or schools will exfil the students. And the first couple of minutes, you've got prime targets, but then the targets flee, and the targets run, and the targets get defensive, and your offense is contradicted by their defense. And in those school shootings, you don't see 40, 50, 60 people killed because of the reaction time we now have. Now, Sandy Hook and Columbine, completely different story. These things were not going around. People were inexperienced. They didn't train for this. Teachers didn't know what to do. Now people have fast reaction forces where police get there in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We've seen that in many. When we have our drills and stuff, when false alarms, you'll see that the police shows up in 2 minutes and 30 seconds with a tactical team. So things have changed a little bit. But my point is that the initial shots lead me to believe that either A, he ran out of selective targets to hit and his choice selection went down, or he didn't have the rounds to go ahead and initiate more targets. That's one of the two. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the video I wanted to show you. This is MS Now. They changed it from MSNBC because nobody wanted to watch it. So they changed the name.
That's funny.
Yeah. They changed. I think
that's going to work.
I think it's MS Now.
But of course, there's so much controversy happening in the United States right now with ICE, who are also wearing uniforms and wearing masks. And so you don't know, people walking around with uniforms, in an American city, there are some Americans that might object to that. And so apparently this shooting has happened.
So listen, everything I'm saying could be wrong. It could be a high-powered rifle. I doubt it. And the reason why is that if you shoot an AR-15 and you're using 5.56, depends on what you're using, and you fire into a small cluster of people, you're going to have multiple entry and exit wounds. It's just, from my understanding, 8 or 9 people were standing together. That's what I understand. And that would lead me to believe that it was a handgun. And I think a lot of the people who know about this and know about this stuff would agree. Here is Al Sharpton blaming Trump on MS now again, and they are all making the rounds. All of them. Here it is.
Matter of 2 people fighting for their lives, guardsmen, that this president put there. And as I said, I was one that was very vocal against that. But I'm not going to belittle the fact that their lives are at stake to get into a back and forth with the president. I can say that if I'm a member of their families, I don't want to hear what he's saying about Honduras right now. I want to pray that these 2 guardsmen who were ordered there and who we're being told by the mayor was ambushed, make it through. And all of this about sending in 500 people, what does that have to do with where we are now? I think that we've got to, those of us that have been opposed to the president's policy, show that we're not going to morally match him by going down to a level of insensitivity. There are 2 people fighting for their lives on Thanksgiving Eve. And it just seems ironic to me that people that pardoned people assaulting police officers are now talking about how they're going to uphold and look up to the people in the building. People in that building were beat January 6th. So
I can't stand that piece of shit. What a loser. I can't confirm that it was a female and a male, and I'm not going to pretend or try to assume that it was. That's not my call to make. It would shock me that the names would be released this soon.
Yeah.
The families are being notified. But I want to take you guys back in just a second to this commercial that's really important. And the nonprofit that supported this, which was the Treasonous Six or the Seditious Six. And I want you to listen to what they said. And Mark Kelly, and their comments directed towards the military disobeying, orders that are supposedly illegal from Donald Trump. This vitriol, this conversation, this type of dialogue, it heats up the rhetoric. And they absolutely said that the military, this was an illegal and unlawful order. Well, what did we do to the English when they occupied our country and came in, when we demanded and declared independence from them? We fought. And what happened in Ruby Ridge? They fought. And whether you agree with Ruby Ridge or not is immaterial. Whether you agree with the Branch Davidian or not in Waco doesn't matter. But there is a plethora of examples of people fighting because they believe that the government is oppressive. And when David Koresh told all of the Branch Davidians, they're going to come in here and they're going to kill you. They're going to take your kids. They're going to take your lives away. You have to fight. You have to do this. What do you think is going to happen? And you have an absolute brainwash left where if Donald Trump said every Trump supporter needs to pick up arms and attack the Democrats, do you imagine that would happen?
No, I don't.
I don't either. But if you had people from the left that said you need to pick up arms, and Antifa, you need to stop throwing rocks, and now you need to kill the people.
Would happen.
That would happen.
In a heartbeat.
In a fucking heartbeat. There's no doubt in my mind. So I think there's 2 very different conversations here, is that you do have people who are utterly loyal to Donald Trump until they're not. But you have people who are loyal to an ideology on the left, who believe that the way of life of the leftists and the leftist ideology is a moral good. And that anything that they do to justify, like they're Nazis or they're fascists or they're bigots or they're racists or transphobes or homophobes, that ultimately gives them carte blanche to treat them as such, the way you would treat fascists, the way you would treat Nazis, the way you would treat a racist KKK member, is with impunity, that their life is forfeit simply because they are against the moral good. Is that not what we do? Is that not what they're saying? Sure it is. We know this. Here is the ad I want to show you. And Olivia, I don't know if you've seen this, and I want to get your comment. This is Elisa Slotkin. These people are just horrible. Watch this.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
What about the Marine Corps? What about the Coast Guard? What about Space Force? You douchebags. There's a lot of, you forgot, what about the Salvation Army?
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
I can't believe they're using a Navy term. It just pisses me off. The fact, I mean, it's right behind me. Don't give up the ship. You idiots.
Inciting violence much?
My God, it's incredible. Folks, we're going to take a break. We have to. We got to hit goal. 94-16. It's Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, we're not going to be here tomorrow.
We're not going to be here tomorrow. And then we've got the next 3 weeks. We're taking some time off for the holidays. But we don't take vacations. We're going to be gone for plays for our kids because that's what we're doing. And we're taking Thursday off. But we'll be back Friday. And we had 240 some odd people on. Which is exciting to see and good to see. Now we've got a couple hundred on. Good to see Facebook having more than 100 on. And then nice. Twitter and YouTube's doing well as well. We're going to do a quick commercial, just a couple minutes. It gives you a chance to get up and go pee. It's a 2-hour show. And let's face it, a lot of our people are old and they can't hold their water.
Like me.
Like Olivia. So we would appreciate it if you guys have a chance to please help out the show. Please donate. It makes a difference. Our goal every night is $300. That's what we do. We don't think that that's a hell of a lot based on the preparation we do for the show and the amount of information we give you. And if everyone chipped in right now, we would hit it. You don't have to. It's free of charge. If you have not had a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell other people about the show. That helps us tremendously. Or go buy a t-shirt or some coffee or something else. We've got great quality stuff like this shirt and all the stuff you see on the show. Please do. We have a 5-star rating and one of the best retail shops on the internet. If you think I'm kidding, just go all the way down the bottom and look at the ratings and see where we're placed, that we are a diamond store. And it's one of the best ratings that you could possibly have. We'll be back in 2.5, 3 minutes, and we'll be right back. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking. I can't do it. I can't untighten it.
That's what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child gets 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something.
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Yes, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Once again, family had a chance to do that commercial, and we did. We thought it was.
That's my family.
It's our family. It's a Mario. USC 2387 is pretty clear on this. Yeah, it is. USC 3287 3584. Enough is enough with this crap. Amen, Maddie. USC 2387 talks about these exact things and influencing our military to perform sedition or to disobey direct orders or lawful orders or objectively trying to minimize recruiting efforts. All of this is 100% against the law, and these 6 most assuredly did that, and they won't be held. Nothing's going to happen to them. That's right. Nothing's going to happen to them. Nothing ever will. Nobody will ever be held accountable in Washington. But I do have some great information. Candace Owens has accused France and Israel of sending assassins out to get her, and she has finally released her proof. It just was dropped. She's obviously canceling her shows, also known as taking Thanksgiving week off like she does every year, but deciding to change the name of it from Thanksgiving time off to canceling my shows due to my safety concerns.
She needs to go into hiding and stay there for like 10 years, in my opinion.
Well, would you like to see the evidence? Because
I
think you're going to eat some crow.
I would
because
love to see the
she
evidence.
has provided the evidence about the assassins and the validity of the assassinations, and it is very compelling. I'm just going to let you all to decide.
Totally.
I'm sold.
Yep.
The hats, the French baguette, the Star of David, all very much. This is
the French baguette.
It's irrefutable.
Totally.
And I'm appalled. And I think we need to go to war with France and Israel immediately. Make haste. And I'm sorry. I want to apologize to Candace Owens. I'm a little confused that why they're not anatomically correct, because I believed it was supposed to be 1 male from Israel, 1 male from France, and 1 female from France. But at this point, I don't care. It's pretty irrefutable.
Yeah, she's got a point.
Sorry, Candace. I apologize greatly. Here is a gentleman that does a better job than what I did, who really explains this well. And he was on Tim Pool. I have no idea who he is. His name's Hotep Jesus, or maybe it's Hotep Jesus. I don't know, and I don't care. I will say is that this is what I've been saying for quite a while, and we got something going viral, don't we? Yes, we do.
Something.
Something. Here is the video. I want you to listen to this, and he sums it up absolutely perfectly. I love this light.
I don't look like a white porcelain
Do you guys
doll
like this
anymore.
lighting in here? Like it's I think there's too much white light and this adding color really makes a difference, doesn't it? I think we're going to have to change this lighting, Liv, like this, and let's do that.
Sounds good. Let's tell the lighting dude that he needs to change.
Yeah, let's get the lighting guy because, you know, we need a lighting guy. 9416 is where we're at to goal, folks. We have about 30 minutes left. We'll show this video and then we'll put up the clock. 130, actually.
I was going to say that.
130. So we're 170 away. Here's the video. Watch this.
How come nobody, I brought this up last night. How come nobody is asking whether or not she's involved?
She's a suspect.
But hold on, like honest question. I don't know about suspect in Charlie's murder, but isn't it strange that she's not being censored by YouTube, despite as critical of Israel as she is, or Spotify or Apple, and that her own lawyers work out of the same building as the feds?
Yeah.
How come no one's talking about that? And that's an honest question. I'm not trying to make you assume anything. I'm saying for somebody who claims that you can't criticize Israel, she also brags she has the #1 podcast worldwide. She's propped up on YouTube with millions of views and the other podcast platforms with no takedown. Nick Fuentes is banned across the board. And then she accidentally points out that her own lawyers are registered at the same address as the feds. She had a response to this, that it was just a registered agent?
Well, no, that's what the internet sleuths. The internet sleuths said that, they pulled the address from the Macron case, and apparently that her attorney's office has a registered agent at that address, which happens to be the same address as the feds, right? FBI and other high-level intelligence agencies, et cetera, right? But we got to zoom out and use Candace's logic. If you're using Candace's logic, who's benefited the most from Charlie Kirk's assassination? It's been Candace.
Her show's #1.
Her show's #1. TPUSA is in just utter dismay at this moment. So TPUSA has to be taken off the table as a suspect. And we have to look at Candace, because all she's done was, and this is messed up too, because if you were like really friends, like you toured the country with this guy, if you were really friends and you're using his assassination for your own benefit and monetizing it, like we just lost a great guy, Daniel Naroditsky in the chess world, right? And most of the chess guys, when they covered Daniel, they took the monetization, either turned it off on a video or donated it to Daniel's fund.
Respect.
Right? That's out of respect.
Yep.
She's not doing that. She's not taking the money.
How is she monetized?
Sponsors or YouTube? I don't know.
No, but she's got YouTube ads and like mainstream normal sponsors.
Right.
I gotta say, dude, I
You're
remember
supposed to share that.
You shouldn't got to do anything. I'm not going to make that argument. I'm just wondering why.
I'm gonna shed some light on this.
Okay.
Because I can help you understand what Candace makes. And Damani and I both could. I wish he was here right now, because we would have to divulge. If I get a video that gets 1 million views, I'll make $150. If I get a video that gets 40 million views, I'll make $3,000. The more views, understand this, is that you have to be above the curve. So when we have a video that goes to 30,000, I'll make $6, $3, $3. When it goes to 300,000, I'll make like 16 to 20. But once I break 500,000, it gets exponentially higher. If you're getting views and getting interactions, and what we did a couple of months ago is we had several videos that went into the 20, 30, 40 million, and we made amazing money for a month. Candace Owens has, on average, 20, 30, 40, 50 million views from one platform on her videos. She's making $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000 on one video. And she's making that across multiple platforms. Candace Owens is making a shit ton of money. So when she's like, I'm self-funded, so am I. And that gives me the ability to do $300 a night. And people are like, how do you survive on that? How do you run a show? Well, because we have advertising too that comes in, and we used to have a sponsor, but we also have merch sales and stuff. But this isn't our sole income. There's other means of revenue. But trust me when I say this, is Candace Owens is making a metric shit ton of money right now from social media because she's unchecked and unthrottled. She has a crap ton of bots that prop her up. And she pays thousands of dollars a day for marketing to ensure that she's placed in the top spots and that she has incredible engagement across all social media platforms. She has the ability to do that. Why? Because, well, Candace Owens is a multimillionaire. So's Tim Pool. Tim Pool can play stupid, but Tim Pool makes good money too. So people need to understand is that there was a point on Facebook where we weren't asking anyone for money because we were clearing $15,000 a month from Facebook. Folks, that's a small-time podcast. $15,000 a month. We're not doing that anymore because Facebook does not promote our stuff like they used to. And it's a constant struggle for smaller podcasts to be successful. So we have to rely on piecemealing our revenue together. Candace Owens doesn't have this. I can't get monetized on TikTok because I can't get followers and they won't let me run ads because I'm a conservative channel. So I have to just hope and pray that I get enough people to finally get to 10,000. We're like 17 right now. We're finally about ready to hit 10,000 on YouTube. We've been monetized for a while and finally YouTube's paying us, but it's not enough. Facebook's paying us. It's not enough. Instagram doesn't pay us. Threads doesn't pay us. But I had, 2.5 million interactions on Threads?
Looks like YouTube only.
Yeah, she makes $374,000 to $2.25 million on YouTube alone.
Just her estimated net worth is $5 million.
But you have to understand, she's on X too. She's getting money from X. She's getting money from Rumble. She's getting money from Instagram. She's getting money from Threads. She's getting money from Facebook. She's monetized on all of these. I'm telling you, Candace Owens makes $20 to $25 million in ad revenue just from social media alone. Easily. And Benny Johnson, we know, makes $2.5 to $3 million because I've told you what he makes. And at one point, I was going to be making anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 on Facebook, and they owe me 3 years of making $200 on average that they owe me because they took away our funding. Folks, there's money in this if you're good enough, but when they throttle you and your show is up to almost 500,000 followers and you've got 83 people on, it's not because the show sucks. It's not because people aren't interested. It's because they don't promote the show. Sandy says you're talking about her a lot. I talk about a lot of people a lot. I talked about the Boston Bridge collapse for 2 weeks. I've talked about the Jews for 2 years. I talked about Ukraine for 6 months. When I get a topic, I talk about it a lot. And I'll continue to talk about it as she continues to lie and is deceitful to people. Yeah, I won't stop talking about it. And I'm not the only one because more people are finally talking about it. More people are finally saying something. Bobby Richardson donated $31.40. I love you all. We love you too, Bobby. Thank you.
Put up the clock.
I think it's important to say things. I think it's important to call people out. And I'll talk about anyone who deceives other people because I'm not a big fan of it. So, and people are going to have to weigh that. They're going to have to say, is that worth it to them to hear it? To me, she's in the news. And when you have the #1 podcast, it's like when I talked about Joe Rogan. Nobody had a problem with me talking about Joe Rogan in the election. Nobody had a problem with me talking about Tucker Carlson. But people had a problem with me talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, and look how right I was about those two. Sometimes people don't talk enough. Here is a video that I want to show you that is pretty deceptive. And so hard to believe podcasts get that kind of money. So hard to believe how much work podcasting is. It's not easy. You guys have to understand is that it takes Candace Owens to make a couple $1 million a year. She has to spend $500,000 in advertising and overhead. There's money. So when we're talking about it, you guys may look at us and say, okay, so say Don't Unfriend Me. We're just going to throw a figure out there. Say Don't Unfriend Me makes $150,000 a year. We put in $65,000, $70,000 in expenses. So now is it a lot? Then you have reinvestment into the show. Then you've got to maintain the show. then, so expansion and growth is difficult to do. It's not easy. So when people look at businesses and they go, well, my business makes $1.5 million, and they go, oh, you're a millionaire. And they're like, no, because my profit is $150,000 or $125,000. It's not all profit, but Candace Owens is doing fine. Candace Owens is already independently wealthy from her husband, but also the money she made with Daily Wire. And these people are making massive amounts of money. But the advertising, understand, is that there's very low startup costs. You can pay a TV station or a radio station 12 cents per thousand. With a podcaster, you only have to pay them 4 or 5 cents per thousand. So although you're like, wow, they're making a lot of money, well, the advertising dollars at Facebook and X, they're making money hand over fist. If you think Candace Owens is making a lot of money, look at the billions that these other companies make off the backs of podcasters. So it looks like a lot, but it's not necessarily a lot. I no longer get notices on Facebook when you all are on. We're on every weeknight at 7 o'clock. That's the coolest thing. You don't need it. Set an alarm on your phone.
Matt, Candace sells subscriptions for $9 to finish her nothing burgers.
Yep. Yeah. It's so the old story is, here's the information. I have no evidence, but I do have a paywall, and you can come over there. Yeah. I talk about a lot of people a lot. I don't understand the comment. Here we're going to talk about Target now. I talked about Target a while when they were selling transgender clothing and LGBTQ clothing. I'm going to talk about Target a lot. Here we go.
Bro, there's such cameras. It says regular price is $175.
All right, so they're saying a 7.5 pre-lit LED Alberta spruce artificial Christmas tree is $175 regular price. You're going to save $52.50 by paying $122.50. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But they're letting it go for $122, right? Christmas trees. And look at the original price. They cover it with tags, M&S's, and they're all covered. All covered. Look. All covered. Bro, there's...
What's the original price? I didn't see.
$120.
Oh my goodness.
So let me explain. Do you think that's wrong?
Is that what they pay, or is that what the company?
They pay a hell of a lot less than $120.
Yeah.
I guarantee for those trees based at a Walmart or a Target, they're buying 100,000 of those for their stores. So they probably get them for $35.
Yeah. I think companies are using the high inflation as an excuse.
But it's not. It's not false. It's not false information. MSRP is the manufactured retail price. That's what the manufacturer recommends. The manufacturer can sell it for whatever they want. So what the manufacturer does is they go ahead and they sell it to Target. They sell it to Target for a good amount. And then they undercut those prices because they don't have distribution costs. They don't have employees. They don't have rent. They don't have lighting. They don't have malpractice insurance or shrink and swell, not malpractice, but insurance. They don't have competition. They don't have sales. They don't have Black Friday. So they can sell it for $120. So they stick $120 on there. And they use the same box to save a nickel. But that's not what they're charging retailers. So Target most assuredly sold it for $175. That was the MSRP from the retailer. They probably sold it for around that price, and they're giving it to you for $52.50. Where they're robbing you is in the gross margin and the cost of the product because they buy by the boatload. The point is that you should check Amazon because they buy by the boatload. You should check competitors when you're shopping because I promise you that even though that's $52.50 off what MSRP is, you can get it for cheaper because directly from the manufacturer because they have none of the expenses that Target does. So this is not deceptive. This is every single retailer in the world. How do I know this? Well, because I worked in the industry for 30 freaking years and I know exactly what's happening here. They're not being deceitful. Those distributors and manufacturers do not even have a tenth of the markup and cost and overhead that Target has to sell that product in their store. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. No. Karen says, if it's marked 120 by law, no. not if it is covered with over the MSRP and they disclose the actual MSRP price, which is what the manufacturer recommends it to be sold for. So, and they did. Weights and Measures requires two things. One is that the MSRP is listed if you're going to have a sale and a discount, and what your lowest price was based on that. And they didn't sell this before. So they can put the MSRP there and subtract the $52.50 from there and sell it for $122.50. And it's $2.50 over what you can get it from the manufacturer from based on what the manufacturer has it listed for. So this is what's known as a doorbuster. They're making very little profit and very little margin based upon what the MSRP is recommended and what the manufacturer sells it for. But their overall cost on this item is not $120 and $122.50. Their cost on it's probably $35, maybe $40. Does this make sense?
Yes.
My point is that when you go and shop, ensure that you understand what you're buying. Now, tell them about Weights and Measures about having something stocked in the wrong spot. You know about this all the time. You do it all the time, Liv. You didn't listen.
So I was reading a comment. When I look
Doesn't
up
help.
and I see
So,
all
hey, Liv.
caps. Yes.
Liv.
Yes.
Can you tell them about what you do inside Target and all those places when something's stocked in the wrong spot and the wrong price tag?
Oh, I take a picture of it and get the right price. I get the price.
Can you walk a little bit more?
Okay,
Tell them what you
so example. For the last 4 years, the tortillas I buy come in a 10-pack or 20-pack, and they have stocked the 20-pack in the 10-pack price, and it's $2.50 cheaper. So I take a picture of that price tag every single time, and I get the $2.50 price as opposed to the $5 price every single time. They finally changed the tag. It took them 3 years of me doing this for 3 years. But I do it with anything. And every single time Hayden would look at me and close her eyes. Mom, don't do it. Mom, don't do it. You're
Right.
embarrassing. I'm like, nope. I'm like, I don't care if it's $2.50. It's their fault they didn't stock it correctly. But I will do it with everything.
Yeah.
And even if it only saves me a couple bucks, it still saves me a couple bucks. They should have stocked it correctly.
So as long as there are two items in that area and the exact item isn't stocked directly next to it, they are required from Weights and Measures to give you that price.
Yep.
And so let me give you an example. So in Best Buy, they had Macs, and they had 27-inch Macs for sale. They were $2,199.99. And Best Buy had them there, and Apple doesn't go on sale. They once a year, Apple does a 10% off for friends and family style type discount, and it's usually teachers associated and student associated. You can now get that every year, but it used to be just literally for back to school week is the only time you could do it. But I went into Best Buy and I saw a 17-inch Mac, which I was going in to buy a Mac notebook, and that was like $17.99. And when I went in there, I went and picked up my thing, and when they scanned it, it came up as $149. And this is almost a $2,000 Mac. Now, they all knew me in there. I'd go in and buy Blu-rays all the time and electronics, and they call me Best Buy Matt because I was always in there, and so was Olivia. So Jen is, 5'4" and just a sweetie, and she goes, "Here you go," and she scans it, and she goes, $149. And I said, "What is that?" And she goes, "Nothing, Matt." And I said, "I don't want it anymore." And she goes, "What?" And I said, "I don't want it." And I grabbed my phone, and she's like, "Oh my God." And she picks up the phone and she starts dialing corporate. And I'm in the phone going like this. I'm like, 2 Macs, blah, 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 drag and drop. I want to order, boom. And all of a sudden she's like, "Oh," and she hangs up the phone, and she called in. This took me a few minutes and her a few minutes. And she looks, and all of a sudden on the back, 2 tickets print out for obviously pickup and hold. And she goes, "You didn't." And I said, "I did." And she goes back and she goes, oh, when she sees it and picks up both Macs. And for $300, I got $3,400 worth of Macs. And then.
Yeah, this is the best part. Can I tell him this part?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell him that part.
So he had just bought me a brand new washer and dryer for Mother's Day, which I loved it because I was sick of using apartment washer and dryers. Anyway, so Best Buy always, if the product goes on sale within the first 90 days, you can take your receipt back to the store and get the sale price. So you actually get a refund for however much you paid for it and what the sale price is. So they went on sale about a month after he bought them for me. He ended up getting like $200 back. He ended up getting, I think we got paid $50 to pay.
They had to give us $50 cash.
Yeah, so they had to end up
to
paying
take
us
two
$50.
computers, two $1,800 computers, so $3,600 worth of Apple computers. They paid us $50 to do it.
Yep.
And I came home and I'm like, "Here's your new computer." You know what she said? "I don't like Apple. I like Windows."
I didn't know that. I didn't know the story. I was also just had a baby. I was post-hormonal.
You're always post-hormonal. So it was funny, but yeah. So, and you have to shop the deals. You have to pay attention. Just understand is that retailers are very simple by design. Is that markup? That whole thing right there. I know it looks bad, but they're really selling it $2.50 over what the manufacturer is selling at. That is actually not a huge markup. That's a doorbuster. That's to get people to come into Walmart. So you're getting a pretty good deal on that tree. You probably can't find that tree much cheaper than that. So even though that guy is sitting there going, "Oh, they're lying," they're not lying. They're actually being very honest. MSRP, and they have to show the latest sale price, and that'll be down in the bottom, and then there'll be a date. You'll see price sold at by this date. This is good until this date, until they do re-advert, which is usually a week. They'll pull all the price tags on the store and they'll re-tag the store, which sucks. Horrible. We tried to sell an idea to retailers, a guy named Claude Samori and I, using Zigbee, which are wireless remote where you have a POS system that will send out wireless updates and you wouldn't have to price tag the store. The investment would be pretty much every single bay would cost you about $1,500, but the amount of labor and time, yeah, a store is going to cost you $50,000 to wire, but you are going to save tens of thousands of dollars in printing and labor and changing the stores every single period. We couldn't get it off the ground. We couldn't get the technology to work. Now, stores do it all the time. But Claude and I were seriously trying to invent this when we worked at Ultimate Electronics, and we had this idea. Now it's everywhere, and plenty of retailers do it, but couldn't get it to work. Zigbee technology just wasn't good enough, and you didn't have the range. So you would have to put nodes in each store. Well, those things didn't exist back then. But anyway, that was my $1 million idea that didn't work. Oh, I know. But Claude and I would have killed each other, you know?
Yeah, going into business, no.
Yeah, a person who loves Jews and a person who hates you. He was Palestinian. We would have killed each other. Yes, Miss Dyra, is it Di Ramirez?
Di Ramirez, I think.
Di Ramirez. Yeah, Macs they'll last 20 years. They're amazing. And at some point, what's great about Macs is that they tell you to stop updating and do it. And unless you're using it for something like a game or a new printer or something you absolutely must have. I've got that laptop that we got is 15 years old. We got it with Hayden. It still works. Hayden uses it all the time. It's the same laptop.
Yep.
Macs last forever. I've got a 27-inch sitting upstairs that I got to sell because we don't need it. Maybe we give that away. Ooh. Do a huge drawing and give someone a new Mac or something. I don't know. It's slow. Well, 10 years makes sense. But you know what? What's great about Mac is that I bet you I could help speed that up. Bet you I could. Yeah, Mac's amazing. I love Mac. It just works. All right, let's do this. This is a Virginia story. Olivia, we saw this. This came through. Folks, we are 14 minutes away from checking out until Friday. We're 161.40 to goal. We're a little bit behind. Ultimate Electronics, yeah. I worked for Mark Waddles, recruited me into Ultimate Electronics after Hollywood Video. Then I went back to Hollywood Video and became a DM for Game Crazy. But yeah, when Waddles left, I went over to Ultimate. And I did well. Did corporate training with Ultimate. Did well. Worked at a store. Had a lot of issues with my back and addiction. And that was one of the jobs that did not go well for me because I was a horrible person to people. And then it followed suit all the way to Apple. But you live and learn. Matt, did you work for Apple during Y2K? No. Nope.
We worked for AOL during Y2K.
We did work for AOL from Y2K. And,
yes, we did.
And I started Apple 1 week after Steve died. Started Apple. Saw him on the elevator in Cupertino when I went there for the interview. And that is the only time I ever met Steve Jobs. And then I've met Tim Cook twice. Talked to him through email a couple times. But met Tim Cook twice. Spoke to the entire panel of Apple. Tim Cook, Johnny Ive, Angela Aretz, all of them. Steve Wozniak, and got a question in a San Francisco world meeting, where they brought all the store leaders together. Met Tim Cook twice, met Steve Jobs once, but then he died a week later. Loretta, we'll talk. We'll talk. Okay, here is this. Do you remember this? Virginia assistant principal and his brother have been caught plotting to lure and violently ambush ICE agents in DHS here in Virginia.
I read about that, yeah.
This is crazy. Watch this video, then we'll talk about it. Yep, got to meet Steve Jobs. And honestly, Steve, I have a lot of respect for Steve Jobs. And, a lot of these movies made him seem to be a horrible human. He was a very eclectic man. And although he wasn't a programmer and he wasn't a designer, he was literally the greatest marketing genius I've ever seen. I have a lot of respect for Steve Jobs, and he really helped my career. And when I was working in the retail sector, to work for the greatest retailer in the world, and to have wealth beyond Olivia and I's dreams. And I'm loyal to Apple. Everything in my show is run by Apple. Everything. And a lot of people ask me, well, why does your show look so good? And why is it processed so good? Why is it lag free? It's Apple. Apple runs this. I mean, the fact that I'm distributing 4K with 256 kbps audio is incredible. And it's processing 6 different cameras. It controls everything. It controls all the lights, controls everything. It's amazing. Folks, we got 11 minutes. We're trying to keep on track here, but we're getting short-term disease here. Apple should sponsor the show. Wouldn't that be nice? Here is this video about these two from Virginia who were plotting to ambush and kill ICE officers at a school in Virginia.
Of a chilling plot to attack ICE, potentially with explosive rounds. The man on the right is John Bennett. He served as an assistant principal at a high school in Virginia Beach. DHS says the case is indicative of the more than 1,100% increase in assaults against ICE agents. Joining us now is ICE Director Todd Lyons. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Rather disturbing details that we are learning about that.
Yeah, Sandra, thanks for having me. It's really scary because, unfortunately, that's the day-to-day lives now of every men and women in ICE, whether it's a special agent, deportation officer, or a trial attorney.
Good night, CJ.
We're constantly under a barrage of attacks. And unfortunately, a lot of these attacks are being driven by some crazy rhetoric that are coming out of a lot of elected officials. And it's really sad because now you have, plots like this. You have ramming incidents up more than 800%. The doxing is just getting unreal, and it's really scary times right now. Just for for us being out there doing our law enforcement mission every day.
As far as the numbers are concerned, the death threats against ICE officers, the numbers that we're looking at here are staggering, 8,000% increase. So, how do you combat this, and how are ICE officers able to carry?
This is all one and the same. I mean, the fact that it's in our backyard is absolutely it's incredible. I mean, does this scare you? I mean, how many of these people run our schools or drive our children's buses or do daycare? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's terrifying for sure. Kristen Clark says, I have an original Mac with floppy disks. Wow.
Wow.
That's out there.
That's old school.
That's out there. One day ago, Jasmine Crockett said that the troops enforcing immigration law were slave patrols that target blacks. Here is Senator Slotkin saying that the National Guard was about to start shooting at American civilians. This is what they created. These people need to be held accountable. They won't be. Nothing will happen to these people. Nothing. They'll just win their seats again.
Of course.
The crazy stuff stemming from that high school in Vaughan Beach really needs to be looked into. Brenna, I couldn't agree with you more. Nice to see. I always love it when we cover something and people who don't usually talk say something. I love that. Folks, we love it when you guys talk to us. That means a lot. Matt, a ton. We just got a Texas 10-year professor fired. A lot of information coming out in the shooter. Thanks, Joe Biden. Well, you know, what's interesting, it sounds like the things that we said, that he came around the corner where I said, okay, so this is why you watch the show, because we analyze and we give you the information that we think. And it sounds like everything we've said about this shooter has been fairly correct. I need to get a 20-year-old MacBook Pro's battery fixed. I wonder if Apple could fix that. Yes, they can. The Apple geniuses will work on it. If life of service of model is still available. If it had a removable battery from the motherboard, then yes. And a lot of the old MacBooks did, if it's 20 years old. It depends life of service. But the great thing about Apple is the prices have come down quite a bit, considerably, to get you in a base model. Let me know if I can help out Tommy. I can give you some recommendations. I'm tired of these anti-ICE people, too. I'm with you.
Yes.
Here is Slotkin, who this right here, I mean, this is incitement. I mean, you are literally saying that the National Guard is going to kill civilians. I mean, you're causing this type of stuff.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. Makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. Makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see.
Oh, sorry. Jane Bush says, what does Matt's shirt say? Well, go ahead, Liv.
Veterans before illegals.
Veterans before illegals, and
I said it correctly.
Yes, you can say veterans. Veterans before illegals. It has all the armed forces on top. Yes, it's at the store. We have it in T-shirt. We have it in long sleeve. We have it in hoodies in a plethora of different design colors. Yep, we have it there, and it's available. And Jane says she's going to be in town. Jane, if you're going to be in town, we would love to see you. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving. Would you let us know where you're going to be, and then maybe you could stop by for a toddy. We're going to have a hot toddy.
A hot toddy with
Go buy
absolutely no alcohol.
We've got alcohol.
Do we?
Got alcohol right behind you, man. We can make Irish coffee.
That's true. I got
Bailey's and cream up there. I can make some Irish coffees.
I did forget to buy wine at the store. Maybe I'll go tomorrow and buy some wine.
Yeah. The last
people in law enforcement.
Shut up, lady. The last 6 minutes is y'all's time. Love to read some of your messages or questions or comments. If you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to do that. I
should show your video that you made this morning. The racist hair.
Oh, but everyone's seen that. It's on the show.
Got it. I thought that was hilarious.
It's actually doing pretty well.
It's pretty freaking funny. Whoever thinks people are being racist over their hair.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. You don't want to talk to people about Thanksgiving?
Can
I say I like the lighting? It's much more rustic, and it looks good. This is better. We should do this and just kind of keep these settings and just change the background a little bit. But I think we're gonna go with this. Yeah, I like it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Because you always look good. You actually look like a Mexican. You know what I mean? Warmer tones to the lighting. Everyone seems, yeah. Thomas says, "Hey Matt, hi Olivia, how are things? They're good. We're just listen. We have a lot of people on. We had 240 on tonight. I just think, listen, it's Thanksgiving. People are pinching pennies.
Traveling.
Yep, and we're trying to hit it. Joanne says, what's the farthest you've traveled for a haircut? That's a really good question. The farthest I've traveled for about an hour and a half. Farthest I traveled was Sports Clips in Fort Collins, Colorado. And this was just when Sport Clips was really starting out. And the one in Littleton was closed and getting remodeled. And Floyd's Barbershop wasn't open yet in Colorado. So I drove to Fort Collins. And I was going up to Thornton anyway, so I drove all the way up there, and I got a haircut at Sport Clips because I thought they did a great job. So I drove an hour and a half for a haircut. Now, the really the longest, it wasn't by choice, that I flew for 21 hours to get a haircut. And I left Denver International, landed in LAX, flew LAX to Honolulu, or Hawaii, JICPAC, Hawaii to Guam, and then Guam to Yokosuka, Japan, 21 hours. And the first thing I did when I got to base was get a haircut. So that was my longest haircut, was 21 hours and, 10,000 some odd, 1,000, I don't even know. It had to at least be, it's halfway around the world. So, 26,000 some odd miles around, roughly? You checking for me?
No, I wasn't.
You got a donation? All right, let me look. Maybe it's 31,000 world around in miles. And we'll just divide by 2. How about that? Let's see if I got it any right. 24,000. I was right the first time. So, sorry. Jeez. 24,860 miles. So, yeah, 12,000 some odd miles. Yeah, that's a long way for a haircut. But, yeah, that's my longest. And it was free, too. And it was shitty. 103.48 from Mel. Thank you, Mel, for bringing us closer.
And I'll try to keep Ethan from not spamming you this weekend.
Jayesh Patel comes in and says, you two are hypocrite. It's plural. It's hypocrites. There's 2 of us, remaining of 2. Singularity would be hypocrite. You're being a hypocrite. You two are being hypocrites. It's called English. For different views, but afraid to tell the fucking truth. I have no idea what you're talking about. And then you laughed. I'm surprised you didn't use LOL. What are you talking about, Jayish?
Why don't you call in?
Is the J Gaelic? So is it gayish? I think it's gayish. I'm pretty sure it's gayish. It's a Gaelic name. I'm pretty confident. So, thanks, buddy. 32 kilometers for me.
What is 32 kilometers? Because I can't do that kind of math.
1.5. 1.25. You can have a different opinion. Just make us hypocrites. 19.9 miles. So so just under 20 miles. So it's like 1.2 or something. Chuck, what I am thankful for, I'm thankful for the Dumb Show, Matt and Olivia, all their friends, families, followers. Happy Thanksgiving from Chuck and Kathleen. Oh,
thank you so much.
Can't wait to see $300. Jeez, buddy.
Thank you so much. And when are you coming out?
Yeah, Chuck, seriously, can you get off the schneid here? I mean, we want you to get over here so you can be a hypocrite.
Jash needs to call in.
Matt says the lighting looks more live, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think listen, it's something that I just didn't think of when we did the set, but this is a happy accident. I was always afraid to change lighting, but what was happy accident? It's literally 3 oranges on the top and then orange, green, and orange. And
we're trying to match the ambience of Thanksgiving.
So I think I'll change like this back to that like bluish tone of the stone, and it definitely feels like a campfire, and this is the way it should feel. It should feel this way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Is Gayish Patel going to call in? Gayish, are you going to call in?
Please.
Olivia, tell Ethan Ducks game Saturday, 3:30 your time. No, I'm not going to tell him no.
Aren't the Avs playing?
Yeah, Avs are playing on Saturday.
Oh, the Avs are playing right now.
Well, they're going to be playing right now.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll start at 9:30.
Oh, yeah. Is it? It's not altitude, is it?
Yeah, Gayish, tell us the truth. We need some truth.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much.
Hi, Dawn. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy to be part of the show tonight. Thankful to you, too. We're thankful for you, too, even though we're hypocrites. I bought some wild turkey for Thanksgiving. There you go.
No, we are not. If anyone wants to know, we are not doing turkey for Thanksgiving.
No, we're doing steak and chili beans and cornbread and salad. Because why not? Like I'm doing prime rib for Christmas. I'm making my prime rib. My prime rib is good.
You are going to have to research where we're going to get that thing.
I will take care of it. I've got it under control.
Where to get it.
Jayish, Gayesh Patel, you obviously don't watch the show much and are just a bitchy troll, Living Patriot says. Wow, kind of put you in your place. Gayesh Patel, you can bounce now, Jen says. Matt, put up the number so Happy Pants can call in. I love Bobby. She said, Gayesh, there's the number, 276. I already know who Gayesh Patel is. Do you want to know who Gayesh Patel is? It's Balls, because he's lonely and alone again. It's Balls. Gayesh Patel is Balls. If you guys don't know this, it's not hard to tell. He goes by and on the live shows, he posts every night and just, you guys stole my donations. We never asked you for your money. You gave us your money. Would you like me to refund your $27? Because I've got no problem doing that, Gayesh. Let's see if he posted tonight. Let's see if I'm right. I always am. By the way, the Avalanche, holy shit. Where are they at now? 16, 1, and 5?
16, 1, and 5.
16, 1, and 5. Tonight, I'm a little worried,
Who are we
though.
playing?
Celebrini. That's basically who we're playing. It's San Jose. It's Celebrini.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why
are we worried about San Jose?
Because Celebrini.
Yeah.
Celebrini can turn that game on his head. Last time we played him, we put up a touchdown on him, 7-0.
That's a good point.
So, got a notification tonight. Should have looked early. Have a good Turkey Day. Well, we love you. We appreciate you, Jeanette. I'll watch this show, Happy Little Accidents. I still watch this show. Good, Riley. Definitely getting campfire vibes from the set tonight. Good, we're going to keep it this way. This is the color it's going to be. It's nice. We like it. Because this is our true color. Olivia's not pasty doll, and I'm not washed out. This is our true color. This looks good. Gayish you a butter. Why do you have bobbleheads of those people on your counter? Well, because it's...
Thank you, Miss Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Get ready for the shark attack.
Okay, Jergemeyer. I have those bobbleheads of AOC, Obama, Hillary, Biden, because they're a bunch of bobbleheads. And then I got the Trump one because it was cool. Because I think they're idiots. So I don't know. And it's politics. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I don't know. It's decoration. Matt, he is bald and all in orange. Oh. Love Bob Ross. So glad this day has come. The bread business is not for the weak. No, sir. Gayish is busy making videos in his sandals, making wire into dishes or something. Really? Is he that talented? He had a calming, soothing voice. Even on the crappy nights, he can make you restful and sleep like a child. Bob Ross, sure.
Has anyone seen the video of all of his paintings? If you put them super and fast, it's basically you're taking a walk down a stream. Yeah. It is the coolest thing how he managed to do that. And you had no idea. It was so cool. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd say that.
Okay, so Tommy, it is cool. I've seen the video. It's amazing. You can look it up and then we can show it. Tommy says, Matt, okay, explain the 5 for me. Is that ties? Okay, let me explain this. Olivia can explain it too, but there's only 3 possibilities in a game. 1 is a win, 1 is a loss, and 1 is an overtime loss. And in an overtime loss, both teams get a point, but the overtime winner gets another point. So they get 2, and you get 1. Well, the Avalanche, listen to this. This is important. They've played 22 games so far this year, and they have gotten a point in 21 of them. That doesn't happen. In fact, it's never happened. It doesn't happen.
It's happened 4 other times. They
But
put up the stat.
Not getting a point in 21 out of 22. That's not true. Philadelphia Flyers did it with like 39 wins, but it wasn't the same system that it is now. But the point is, the Colorado Avalanche, as a modern day team, what they're doing is incredible. Spitting Chicklets talked about it today. And they basically said, if Colorado continues on this pace, they're going to win 64 games. They're going to lose 4. And they're going to be, I think it's like 12 overtime losses. And if they do that, not only will they absolutely destroy the Boston Bruins record, they will just obliterate it. And what they said on the show was they might even have the playoffs this year. They may just give Colorado the cup and nobody will show up. The Avs are one of the most complete teams ever to play the sport in the first 22 games. They are dominating in a way that I can't even begin to tell you because their power play completely is in the trash. They are so good on 5-on-5, people take penalties on purpose in order to play with them. People would rather play against their power play. That's how good they are. And if the Avalanche just move their power play to the top 15 in the NHL, these might as well go home. Their goalie tandem is so good that they may not have a starting goaltender for the playoffs. They may just alternate each game. And if they do that, you're talking about facing a rested goaltender every single night. That's how good their goaltending is.
Yeah, last week we got 2 back-to-back shutouts.
This team's for real. If you're not watching the Avs, watch them. Now, tonight, I'm a little worried because Ross Colton shaved his stash.
Really?
You don't shave in November.
It's no shave
It's
November.
no shave November. And he's screwing with, he's 4 days early. I'm a
Why'd
little
he
concerned.
shave?
He said it looks stupid. He said it looks stupid. I don't know.
Was it the 70s porn stash?
Yes. Breaking. National Guard shooting suspect identified as Afghan illegal brought to the U.S. via Biden's Operation Allies Welcome in 2021. Wow, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Exactly. Just that. Was an Afghan relocation NGO that came from Biden's kerfuffle Afghan exfil. Remember? That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind. Okay, is there anything else?
Nada.
All right. So, Thanksgiving message. May God bless all of you. Chuck, thank you for your donations. Everybody, thank you for your donations. I know people give money when they don't necessarily have it, and that means the world to us. We love you guys. Appreciate you. Can't thank you enough. Remember, on Friday in December 5th, I believe it is, we are going to be doing the Friday giveaway for the jacket, the last one of the year. And then at the end of December, we're going to be doing a huge giveaway as well. And you can enter that night as we're going to give some sort of gift bag away. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we're excited and can't wait to do it for you. So stay tuned for that. Remember, we're off tomorrow. We'll be back Friday. Have a good show for you. Then I'm going to be off on Wednesday to go to my son's Carol of the Bells Christmas play, which we show you guys every year.
It's the Christmas concert, choir concert.
Whatever. We're going to be there. And then the following week after that is Hayden's play on Thursday for Little Women, and I'll be going to that because I have to because I'm dad. So we're going to miss a few days. But trust me when I say this, we'll make it up for you. We'll do some overtime and everything else. I want you all to have a blessed, joyous, happy Thanksgiving. Be with friends. Drink and be merry. Drink some warm toddy.
Do not drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive. There's a cold front coming in. And for those of you who have a chance, say some prayers to the people in this chat. There's people who need your prayers. A lot of you know who they are. And we will do the same. Said a big prayer for Mike Lynch and Tommy Cawthon last night. And as I promised I would. And we'll continue to do that as you guys take care of each other, okay? Liv, you got anything?
Wishing everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And we'll see you on Friday. And thank you for the donations. We appreciate them.
I loved that movie with Winona Ryder. Which one?
Little Women.
Oh. She is a little woman, isn't she? She's kind of small. I'm just saying. She was great in Reality Bites. What a great movie. That's one we need to show the kids because that's just...
That would be
in the winter of my discontent. All right, we're all caught up?
Yes.
All right, everybody, good night. Happy Thanksgiving. See you Friday. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. Get out of politics. Go eat some turkey or whatever. And go celebrate the slaughtering of Native Americans so we all can live in the greatest country in the world. God bless. We'll see you guys on Friday. Good night, everybody.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.